Investigation or Investigators of Nigeria, Sir Chikwe Udensi. He joins me virtually this morning. Good morning, Sir Udensi. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Ginika.
All right, welcome. Let us start with that situation we had in Aba. That was last week, Thursday, precisely. What do you make of the security development in Aba, where people actually live in fear up to this moment over possible reprisal by the military following the killing of their personnel by gunmen? That was last week. What do you think?
We were very shocked when we reviewed the crime desk. We actually thought that things were getting better. But when we reviewed the crime desk records nationwide, we were shocked that things are not getting better. If you look at the situation, the banditry, kidnapping, the burglary, all crimes, armed robbery, rape, if you look at all of them, including the abuse of drugs, drug abuse.
Yeah.
If you also look at the assault, the one that is called assault occasioning harm, and also some misdemeanor, minor crimes, things are not getting better at all. In fact, if you even look at the record we just received from the Financial Crime Commission, we were very shocked to find out that, in fact, financial crime has increased tremendously. So nationwide, crime has remained very much on the increase. And if you consider the fact that it is not just the nation, Abia is part of the nation, and the crime is going everywhere. So what happened last week is not different from what is happening around the nation. And we feel very disturbed. But there's an area that disturbs me more, Ginika. I have had to take this up with the Chief of Army Staff. And I even sent a little bit of note to the Brigadier General, Brigadier Dia. Hafia Brigade Command. And I said, we have a few problems we have that is reoccurring. And it is reoccurring very badly that we need to attach some importance to it. Take a look at what happened in Umuahia, where a commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel, was killed with all his team. This issue continues occurring. We have what we call the minimum requirement for any active violent area. When there's an active violent area, there's a minimum requirement that you must have to adhere to. If you don't adhere to this minimum requirement, usually the consequences are very high. This year alone, just this year alone, we have found out that, in fact, about 278 soldiers have been killed. Just this year alone.
So worrisome.
278 soldiers. It is an increment of what we used to have. If you consider what also the number that we lost in police force, 122 within the same period, which is a decrease, but that of the soldiers increased. In Aba, for example, Ginika, what happened ought not to happen. It was avoidable.
Really?
We have seen situations where when you do not adhere to the standard operating procedures, the consequences are often very bad. What happened in Abia is avoidable. How did we arrive at this? In our analysis on Saturday, the National Association of Certified Security Consultants, we analyzed the situation where we said this information as to the imminent violence was communicated by these criminals. These hoodlums said they were going to effectively put the whole of Abia and Southeast under violent situation. They said so. We saw this on the social media. It also went viral in some other areas, communication platforms. We knew that they were bracing for war. If that is the situation, the soldiers, the law enforcement at large, they ought not to be on a yellow. They ought to be on a red. You know what I mean by that in security?
Maybe you explain. Maybe go ahead and explain. Abians are listening.
Yes, if you are on yellow, you are on preparation to be on alert.
Okay.
But when you are on red, you are on alert, super alert. There was no basis whatsoever for that situation to occur without the minimum requirements. There ought to be full body armor for all security agencies for that period of time. There ought to be armored vehicles on the streets. You ought not to be in pickups like we told them in the Kwama. A lieutenant colonel, a commanding officer, cannot enter a scene of violence in a vehicle that is not protecting himself and his team. That day, that has been announced to be a day which you expect violence, what they ought to have done is to ensure that they were on proper red. Only armored vehicles ought to be on the streets. And they couldn't have been left themselves vulnerable to attack. And moreover, you can't have 5 persons in a direct location where we have very serious alerts for imminent crime. You can't do that. So there were some lax situations. I do not intend to justify what anybody have done. What I'm speaking from a security point of view, that we keep talking about this every time. We must have to ensure that our security forces and all security agents and personnel are informed of the standard operating procedure in every situation. We were aware that these boys were threatening, that there will be violence. We were aware that they insisted there will be violence. Any vehicle approaching in any circumstance like that is a suspect vehicle, no matter how the vehicle looks like. Any individual approaching you in that circumstance is a suspect. I don't say you take proactive measure by shooting, no, but you be on guard. 5 persons cannot be in the same location in a situation like that without what we call the 138 system that is used in situations like that. You spread yourself. Maximum 2 people in a location. A location that you are known for, maximum 2. You must have to have other people, and then immediate backup systems must have to be ensured. There must be a minimum 3 backup systems within that setup. These are the standard operating procedures. If we do not keep these standard operating procedures, especially in a violent situations like we have, the results are often very high.
Okay, sir.
The casualty is often very disturbing.
Okay, apart from the other ones you mentioned, I know that that at the spots where the incident happened, they had like 2 or 3 soldiers stationed there, and probably at other various strategic points in Aba. Maybe they tried in that aspect, but in the area of being on red alert, like you said, moving with a protective vehicle, kind of for the security agencies. Probably that's where we had the issue of lapses. But I would like us to look at what the state government had done so far. They've come out with the issue of bounty, 25 million for anybody that will help them locate where these criminals are, get them arrested and prosecuted. Is that enough? Do you think the state government has done enough to address this particular issue? Because we saw a situation at some point that we were having a kind of improved security situation in the southeast. But with this relapse, it appears that we are going back to where we're coming from.
Well, it is very important that I commend the state government for the much they have done. I'm told it's about 25 billion naira bounty on the head of whosoever claimed the bounty. But you see, what we're saying is that the bigger picture is that if you keep doing the wrong thing and then keep expecting good results different from what you are doing before, it's not going to happen. While I commend the state government for that gesture, 20 million is nothing to be compared with the lives we are losing.
Yeah.
The important thing is for us to ensure that we do the right thing. All over the world, we also have problems associated with insecurity everywhere in the world. But the difference is that they put up the basic standard operating procedures. Those SOPs that are obtained around the world, we should do it here. If we do not do it here and then expect that God will come and save us, then it's unfortunate. It's not going to happen. While I commend the government, 25 million is a lot of money. In fact, the governor also showed empathy, showed concern by going to visit the families of those that were killed. It's a very good thing. On a bigger level, on a bigger platform, let the security forces ensure that they do what they ought to do. Do not leave our boys vulnerable. Do not leave our boys unprepared. If you recall, a few days ago, I was on AIT, and we warned again that what we now see happening in banks and some other financial institutions is that there is also further killings of policemen in banks. The bank that is making billions of dollars in profit cannot provide body armor and cannot even provide what we call the buffer areas. If you look around the world where there are serious bank robberies, that's what we call buffer areas. The buffer areas are created in banks where you cannot reach the armed gentleman in the buffer area, but he can reach you. That is what we have around the world today. So they will have, to a large extent, succeeded in preventing those robberies that happen in financial institutions around the world. But in Nigeria, you see a policeman or a member of the security forces in the bank dressed in a shabby form, sometimes with baton slippers.
We don't even have some police.
Have a body armor.
Even when you go to some banks now, you may not even see any armed security personnel in banks that we have around here.
So you can understand what I'm saying, Ginika. I'm saying that we are not serious in this country when it comes to security. We always pay lip service at all levels of government, both local, state, and federal government. We don't even provide the minimum requirement for security. Then we are expecting to go to churches and expect miracles to happen. Look at Israel. The strength of Israel, God's own people, is the ability to provide the resources to defend themselves and the resources to stop attack on them. That is what we should be doing. God can only help you when you help yourself. But right now, Ginika, I don't think we are helping ourselves. And we are allowing this evil to continue. In less than 1 year, 278 soldiers, 122 policemen. The numbers are climbing. Nationwide, over 9,000 persons have died through kidnapping and banditry. Over 9,000 nationwide. And these are needless. And government is not providing the enablers, the required instrumentality that is required to fight crime. It is not there. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I was still going to ask you. Before now, say in the last 1 year, we've had new set of governors in the southeast. And this new set of governors appear to have helped the security situation we have in the country, in this part of the country, I mean the southeast, to improve a bit. But with this development, one may be afraid to say that we are likely to go back to what it used to be when the previous set of governors that we had in the Southeast didn't do much to check the rising wave of insecurity in their various states and in the region, So at this point, what should the governors of the Southeast be doing, since we are having a kind of resurgence of insecurity in the region?
When we were going through the data, we were going through the records in our meeting on Saturdays, we looked at the regions and we found out that with the enormous job being done by Amotekun, the regional security apparatus in the West, they were able to contain very sizably the actions of criminals, bandits in the forests. What Amotekun did was to create what we have always referred to as the forest guards. The forest guards will make sure that we don't have criminals in the forests. This is what Amotekun has done. But you and I know what has happened in the Southeast. They were supposed to take advantage of what Amotekun did in the Southwest to create a Bubago. We were told that the Bubago was to come online.
Yeah.
But you can see the attitude of our governors. The Southeast governors then, they were very unserious, extremely unserious. The previous Southeast governors that handed over to this current ones, they are very, very unserious when it has to do with security. I remember very vividly that I led a team of systems consultants, security consultants. I led a team to most of these governors. And we said, gentlemen, we have a problem here. The government at the center have created the enabler, the sustainable enabler for you to have a regional security outfit. Why are we not having it? When we discussed with, I think it was Umuahia, the then governor of Ebonyi,
yes,
he indicated the intention that they are going to do it. In fact, he was the chairperson of the Southeast or Southeastern governors then. So he indicated he was going to do that. But eventually, what we saw is that in his own enclave in his own state, what he did was he created a Bubago, which was essentially used as a political tool. It was not intended to serve the purpose of actual societal security.
Yeah.
It was intended to serve the purpose of political security, which didn't work. And if you recall very vividly, a court of competent jurisdiction dissolved the Bubago in Ebonyi State. It was dissolved by a court because they were overreaching the actual security apparatus of the nation and creating more problems that they ought to solve. So this is the problem we have in the Southeast. I will take this opportunity to urge Southeastern governors, emulate what is happening in the West. Look at what Amotekun is doing. Look at stop and start system. Look at the sobriety checks of systems of Amotekun. Look at the forest guards systems of Amotekun. It has, from data, available data we have right now, it has reduced the criminality and the criminal records we have in the Southwest. Let us emulate it in the Southeast. I will urge the governors. In fact, what we decided is that we're going to, as a national association, we're going to be writing to governors of those areas we have seen either consistent crime data or increase in the crime records. We are going to write them. We are going to appeal to them. You are not doing what you ought to do. Security is not magic. Security is the availability of competent gentlemen called security personnel, and they must be properly equipped. These are the two things that is called security. You don't obtain security from going to do any kind of magic. No. Security is science. It is specific science of ensuring that law and order is maintained in a situation or in a locality. That is what security is all about. But this is lacking as a collective force in Southeast. We don't have that collective force. We should emulate what is happening in Southwest. And that is my advice to our governors.
Okay, so Daisy, before I let you go, the issue, or rather, the incident that happened in Aba where soldiers were killed, many people believe would actually dampen the morale of this security agent to actually provide security for the citizenry. But the most scary part of it is that there's this suspicion that there may be, possible reprisal attack from the military. With the situation we're having in Aba. Is that supposed to be, what would be your reaction to such development?
I have always been opposed to allowing the military to have reprisal attacks. It has always been counterproductive. If you, I don't know how old you are, Ginika, if you recall back, or if you can look at history of what happened some years ago, when Obasanjo was the president,
yes,
there was a very big problem in a Bayelsa community called Odi.
Yes,
the Odi community.
Yes,
you remember that the then Chief of Army Staff, Victor Malo,
yeah,
Victor Malo sent some military personnel to go and cause some mayhem in Odi. They leveled Odi. They killed so many people in Odi. Not too long after that, Victor Malo was no more Chief of Army Staff. And then there was problem in his own community of Zakibiam.
Zakibiam, yeah.
There was a very big problem in Zakibiam. Do you know who was sent there? Major Temipere. Major Temipere's father was killed in Odi. So eventually, Major Temipere went on a reprisal and finished the household of Victor Malo. Victor Malo never recovered from it. So if you keep doing this, you keep creating what we call a vicious circle. Very, very vicious circle. If it happens here, it goes to happen the other way again. Look at also what happened in Okuama.
Yes.
When these military were killed. The military went in and so many houses were burnt in Okuama. There was reprisal attack. If military personnel are killed, you don't send military to go and revenge. No. You don't send military to go and fish out who have killed them. No. They can't be a judge in their own case. As much as I do not, by any stretch of imagination, condone the killing of the military. No, I don't condone it. But if you do not restrain them, more mayhem is always caused. Let me give you an example of what I'm saying. I have received not less than 7 calls from Aba.
Okay.
Of those who have now been arrested from their homes. In fact, there was a young man who they say came in from abroad. He was in a hotel. He has been picked up by the military. They are investigating the killing of the 5 gentlemen in Aba. So you see that the military have gone on a massive rampage of picking people both at home, in their various homes, and also from hotels. As much as you expect that such a heinous crime should be investigated, not as we condemn them, we should look for a better way of ensuring security. The personnel must be protected. The process of entry into a violent area must be done professionally. If you don't do it professionally, you suffer serious consequences. That is our experience.
All right, let me sincerely thank you, the Interpol Systems Consultant at the National Central Bureau and the fellow, Chartered Institute for Forensic and Fraud Investigators of Nigeria, Sir Chikwe Udensi. Thank you so much for input this morning on the platform. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, Gineka.
We appreciate you. Thank you, sir. All right, that's the situation here. We are going to pause now, take a breather. When we come back, we'll now focus our attention on what is happening at the labor front. I understand that the labor officials are really out there trying to enforce compliance on the nationwide strike, which they declared that was last week. Yes, to continue to happen this week. It started today, and they are everywhere trying to enforce compliance. Otherwise, we would have had some of them here in the studio. But we will be reaching out to them to see how the situation is going. It's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Stay with us.
Do solemnly swear. Dr. Alex Oti, OFR, do solemnly swear that as the governor of Abia State, I will discharge my
elections comes real governance, the task of delivering on the social contract with the people.
Experience this smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium. Experience this smooth and strong feeling that consistently surpasses expectation. Leading the way in high-performance lubricants, Master Supermoto Oil is as durable as titanium.
All right, now joining us virtually is Trade Union Congress Chairman in Abia State, Comrade Ihechi. He joins us virtually somewhere in town. Good morning, Comrade. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning.
Good morning, comrades. Gineka, FLO FM.
Thank you.
We are happy to have you.
Yeah. Now tell us, what is the situation? You declared a nationwide strike. That was last week. And you said it's going to start today. What's the level of compliance, especially from your members?
Yes, really, it's a national assignment. And then we are pushing forward towards the hike in electricity and then non-implementation of the minimum wage. On that note, we were directed nationwide to make sure that it comes to real action, that the federal government will have to listen to us by carrying out this strike. This strike is not on a particular state, but is to ensure that everybody is involved.
both the market women, the traders, the offices, the federal government offices, the state offices, and the other agencies that will help to implement it. As I speak to you now, every office, including banks, offices of the federal government and the state, are under lock and key.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
so on full compliance.
Okay.
Full compliance. Thank you.
With your demand to the federal government, you're requesting about 400 and something thousand naira monthly for the minimum wage. One would be tempted to ask, with what you are putting forward, do you think that amount is realistic? Is it something that you think the federal government can afford, even the private sector as well?
Yes, see, what we are pressing for is not only for the federal government to implement that exactly wage award of 615,000 naira. But we want that the issue has to be discussed, and then the issue has to be carried out and then implemented. We know that all hands are not equal, but the federal government can come for the negotiation. So that let us reach an agreement. We are not saying that the issue of 615,000 naira must be paid, but it has to be negotiated. And the labor has to be involved. Labor has to be convinced. Labor has to accept it before any other thing. So that is the area labor is seeing it.
Now, federal government actually came forward with 60,000 naira. Is that not enough for you? I mean, if you're saying you are negotiating, they started from, I think, 40,000, they moved down to 50.
Yes.
Now they are presenting to, they are now at 60,000. That up to this moment, you said it's not okay for you. What would be enough? Must it be that's at 400 and something that you people are claiming now? Must it end at that? Is that not supposed to be a negotiation? I mean,
very good, very good. There must be a negotiation. You are making it even more easier for people to get convinced. There should be negotiation. Is that negotiation that we are here about, saying that federal government should negotiate with the organized labor, the TUC, the NLC. We reach an agreement. And then if you look at the inflationary rate in Nigeria, you find out that is more than times 2. Granted that it is times 2, but it's more than times 2. And whatever that you have to be agreed, labor must be convinced. That word convince, I want it to be there and be accepted by the people. Thereby, on that note, we can now talk about the issue of agreement and then enforcing it. Thank you.
So, how long are we expecting to see this strike last? I mean, any possibility, maybe after today, are you likely to call it off, or will it continue tomorrow, next tomorrow? When exactly are you looking at calling off the strike?
And you know that this strike is ongoing, and while it is going on, the negotiation can also continue. We are taking directives from the national. Whenever, if it pleases the national that they have agreed, they will now give us directive on what to do. So for now, the strike continues as I speak to you now, nationwide. So until otherwise stated by the national.
So one cannot actually go to market and buy something. Is market unions, are they also part of this strike that you declared?
You see, certain issues are to be done. There's what you call movement. The issue of strike now is not a matter of telling the market woman to join. They will do that on their own, based on what they are suffering with. We are not doing it for workers alone. We are doing it in the workers and the Nigerians as a whole. So that is not the position. The market women, we have other organizations that involve the market women. So it's not a matter of telling the market to close. No, we are not saying the market will close, but they will feed on their own perception of assisting for this thing to come to pass. Thank you.
All right. Let me sincerely thank you, Comrade Ihechi, and please be safe out there while you go about enforcing the compliance for the strike. Thank you so much, Comrade ENT,
Thank you very
the
much.
TUC chairman in Abia State. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right. I think it's time for us to actually open the phone line so you can be part of this discussion. The numbers to call are 080-8182-6949 or 08116052949. And also send your SMS on 090-651-08289. It is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. Welcome.
Mr. Gineka, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Yes, the person calling is Henry Enyoko from Umuahia in Isialanga North.
Welcome, Henry. But I can hear a hold back at the background. Maybe you move away from your radio set.
All right, I'm off from the radio.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me be very honest with you as a person, honest to Abians, honest to Nigerians. As much as we know that things are difficult, inflation is very high. The workers, they trade whatever they call, that is the organized labor, should make a realistic demand. If they are talking of 400,000, I'm not talking of the 6 or the 5 or even at 200,000, they will finish this money. The value of this money will get rotten. People should ask for something that is realistic. Why won't they come down to this 60 or 70,000? What we are talking of, minimum, the minimum we are talking about, is it not for level 1 officers?
Yes, Henry. So if one is giving 60,000, what can 60,000 do? Don't forget that these people you're talking about, they have children, they do medicals, they send their kids on for school, they pay school fees, and every transportation as well, feeding. I mean, if you're talking about 60,000, that they should accept it, would that be enough?
Mr. Janeka, what we are saying is that, there is what we call market forces. This present inflationary rate will equally drop. It will not remain this way. It will not remain this way. Government should implement policies that will help to bring down this inflation. Because if we continue to go by how things are, maybe minimum salary for any worker becomes 300,000 or 250, 300. We will get to where Ghana was some time ago, when their money became like ordinary paper. So that is what I'm saying. They should apply human face to what they are demanding for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Henry, for calling us there. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gineka.
Welcome.
I'm calling from Umuahia.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, my brother, let me start by commending Chief Udensi for his submission on the ways to improve our security architecture in Southeast. It's just a very welcome development. We really need to copy from the Western, our Western neighbors, adopt a central security measure and system that will control the entire Southeast. It will help us. Then let us try as much as we can to equip our security personnel. Now, let me go straight to the issue of labor. If the essence of this strike is just to increase minimum wage, then nothing has been achieved. I think that is what our last caller was trying to say. I think labor should press further, push the government to fix our refineries. Dangote made a statement this morning that because of those who have special interest in importing refined crude, they have made it so difficult for a refinery to be constructed in Africa. So labor should be able to push the government to fix our refineries, let them begin to function, to compete with others, so that however it is, we can push down the price of petrol. Now, stability of power remains a very vital ingredient to project our economy. Let them fix the power sector and every other policies that have affected the people directly. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you so much for calling us there. Hello, good morning.
Bless. Chief Correspondent, Mr. Zineka.
Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for the calling from this one. No precisely. I think you have a look on that thing. We will be able to attend to the fact that my brother, They are so reluctant, and they were so relaxed. So they should have stay gladly. Having known that that particular day is a day that is not entangled with federal. Although that we are using it to honor the heroes, the lost heroes. So they look at those there, I was so surprised. And some of them even remove their clothes. They were allowed to eat it. So, but nevertheless, we are hearing Interpol Systems Consultant. They were saying that they would have, suit the land to do their work immediately and to make sure that they keep a watch. But that should be a kind of, putting all that people on the rest alert. That was when situation like this happened. But we can't control it and we condemn it. So that's part for that one. But I pray that if innocent ones that they are arrested, they will not harm them. They will not, study their image. Very important. So governors will come in, another representative, federal and senators. Let me go to level. Level, I don't think the man call say that they are trying to have a negotiation. This is the first one, second one, this is the third one. Some are not decided to go on strike now. So what are they expecting again? They should say exactly what they want. Because that's 484,000 naira. It's not going to be realistic. I mean, not going to be realized. So let them bring it down to at least 100 or 80. At least it is okay. So our money will have a value.
Okay.
If they continue, putting down 400, but the matter will never have value. So they should bring it down. But everything will be normalized. The federal government
here. Thank you.
See what we play.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Don Casey Guy, for real. Let's take another call now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my good brother, Gineka.
Thank you so much, Prince. You're welcome.
Thank you. Happy New Week and Happy New Month.
Same to you.
Can the secretary hear me?
No, just go ahead.
All right. I still remember Mr. Prince Will Oswago from Enomonachobo. First of all, my condolences to the people that lose their lives in Abia State during an attack against the military. Like the security staff said, I believe the Nigerian security officers ought to be at red alert at any time such a thing happens. And equally, to the federal government itself, they should equip their personnel with the teeth. That is that. Let me come to the labor issue. Actually, I'm not against labor going on strike, but I'm against labor for seeing what cannot fetch economic reality to Nigerians. First of all, if federal government agrees in paying labor 400,000 naira now, well, that 400 naira is equated with the value of money or value of goods in the market. So I believe if labor is fighting for increment, they should qualify for the actualization of that money given to them on the goods and services in the market, not only giving them money. So let them ensure that the economy is being at a level that will equate to the money given to them and the goods, the price of goods and services in the market.
Okay.
These are my statements. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Prince Will from Obo. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gineka.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. This is Abia calling from Umuahia in Umuahia, South Local Government.
Okay, go ahead.
Please, I want to beg every Nigerian for those concerned over the minimum wage. If Ajero and his counterparts want to put the minimum wage at 4 million naira, and everybody should not be afraid because his strike does not have any weight. They are going on strike now. Within 2 days, they call it off. So there is no need crying because within this evening, they call it off. So please, nobody should bother about Ajero strike because they have spoiled the country already. This is the type of strike they're supposed to put when the subsidy was removed. He didn't do it. What is he doing there now? Let him put a minimum wage for me, 1 million naira. Is that sensible? Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you so much. Now to our SMS line. This one is coming from Kelechi Oba in Ukwana. He said, for me, I totally condemn the attack on the security personnel in Aba. And lastly, anything less than 100,000 naira as a minimum wage is not acceptable. The government should increase the minimum wage with at least the same percentage the increased price of fuel. Thank you so much, Kelechi Oba. This one is coming from David in Sulu. He said, "Good morning, gentlemen in the studio. I urge Mr. Governor to please seek some advice from the former governor Ibazu on how he was able to maintain peace in Abia State during his 8-year term as a governor of the state. Truly, Abia should commend former governor Ibazu on security." Thank you so much. This one is coming from Kelechi in Factory Road. He said, "Labor pricing minimum wage like crayfish. I think we can manage 200,000 naira wage." Okay, that's your opinion there. Now to our Facebook page. This one is actually coming from Elekelechi. Said, "The rising wave of insecurity in Nigeria baffles me more. Upon all the resources we have been blessed with, our security personnel are less equipped, less paid, yet we have group of people call themselves government that sit on and enjoy our common world while the masses suffer. Government that only know and condemn killings and swept it under the carpet. Yeah, well, it is a country called Nigeria." Anyway, let's take this call now. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Gedeka.
Welcome.
Who say man know the name I'm calling from?
Welcome, go ahead.
Let me thank Sir Chikwe Udensi for this lecture this morning. And also pray that the government, Southeast governors and the government should look in ways to take most of his advice. Almost all his advice they work in tandem with what will make us have a pure security in the Southeast and in Abia inclusive. So I pray that the governor should be contacting him most times for advice, security advice. So most times in security, we are supposed to be proactive in nature so as not to allow this kind of thing that happens in Aba that are making innocent people to weep or to pass through hell now, according to this current situation in Havana. So that it will not happen again. I still pray that army, the military people will tamper justice with mercy, because in as much as we see it in any angle, the life of anybody, any human being matters a lot. Not talk of the one, our gallant soldiers have been protecting the integrity of this nation today. So they are not supposed to be that. I'm begging them to just tamper justice with mercy and ceasefire, so that innocent people, that make sure that they fish out these people that are responsible for what is happening in Abba today. Then secondly, the issue of minimum wage can never be overemphasized. Initially, I don't encourage hiking or telling us that we are going to pay 400 and something million and thousand naira as a minimum wage. But when they remove minimum wage from 18,000 to 30, I said that they should stabilize the economy. Things will be better. And naira, we will value our naira so that even if you are paid 10,000 naira as a minimum wage, you use it to buy something. But unfortunately, we've not seen any change. So the politicians are busy enriching themselves, increasing their security vote, increasing their sitting allowances, increasing everything.
Okay.
So when they are increasing that, so they both need to increase theirs at the same time. Since they want to make the problem of this country can never stop if we make governance less money attractive.
Thank you.
Let governors stop taking security vote. Let senators, federal house members, many of them that have been enriching themselves through our common paternal money should resist from doing that.
Thank you, Hussein.
You see that this is all this more inflation that we today, inflation, food inflation.
Okay, thank you so much, Hussein Manode. Hello, good morning. You are the last caller on the show.
Hello, good morning, Gimika.
Welcome. Is that Abbas?
Yeah, it's Mohammed Abbas from Government College.
Welcome.
Yeah, first of all, I condemn killing of Nigeria soldiers in Abia State. The reality is that I want to also advise Nigeria to condemn it, because without Nigeria Army and Nigeria Police, my brother, nobody is going to be failing. That business you claim that you are going to market and do business, if there is no army forces in this country, you can go to your market and come back. People can come to your house and collect the money easily. That's the reality.
Yeah.
But with those people that sacrifice themselves because of war, then we pray for them. That's the reality. I'm coming to labor union, my brother. Labor union, I know that they're looking for their demand. No, because the situation we're into is very, very bad. Even though you pay them 60,000, how much one bag of rice will start? But the problem, when we are clear about foreign subsidy, labor union is supposed to make sure that the federal government has shut down Nigeria so that federal government can revive foreign subsidy. People that are suffering to read this foreign subsidy. Imagine today, they are buying foreign at 850 per liter. Where Nigeria is heading to? It's the problem we are looking for. It is not only for their benefit. If they want to shut Nigeria down, let them shut Nigeria down. Benefit of all Nigerians.
No, we are not shutting the country down. Thank you so much, Abbas, for your contribution there. Well, that's the situation there here, and I think everybody has said their mind, and the people concerned, I'm sure they've listened. Please, the government, do the right thing. Labor union, do the right thing. Security agencies as well, they should also do the right thing. And all of us as Nigerians, we can do our part to build the country. My name is Ginika Olua. Sincere thanks to all of you who called in and who sent in your comments on our Facebook page, SMS on our SMS line. Thank you so much. May God bless you. I'll be back here on Wednesday, God willing, on Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Keep praying for Abia State and Nigeria to become great, and I'll see you again. Good morning.